Here are 3 reasons why to subscribe to Fringe Financials on YouTube. Number 1, it is free, which is the best price that you can pay for this kind of content. 2, I am completely transparent with all of my investments. And number 3, I have a variety of educational videos every single week. Now let's get on with the video. What's up YouTube, and welcome back to another Fringe Financials video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how retail investors can now bet on music royalties. So we're going to be talking about the ideas behind it, what's coming into the markets for retail investors like myself included, my thoughts, my opinions, and, kind of like an overall summary as to what we're going to be talking about for today's video. If you are excited for today's video, make sure that you smash the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. I know it has been a little bit of time since I've uploaded my last video, but unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, but, my job is what I'm be focusing on right now as an educator, and that pays me money. YouTube does not pay me money as of right now. Maybe a couple years on the road, I can monetize it, but for right now, I'm not. So I have to work on my actual job and make money first, and then use this also whenever I have free time. So if you aren't aware about how music royalties works, especially in the music industry, you also do, there's also royalties for like writing, for shows, movies, for acting, and those kind of things. So music royalties essentially are when an artist like Drake or, Post Malone or anybody else, they release an album, right? The album goes out to those streaming platforms like Apple Music, like Spotify, Pandora. And as every listener streams one of their songs or multiple songs, the artist gets a very, very small cut of the money or of a payout, which is called a royalty. It's not a lot, which is why you have to get those songs to, become big and become super popular. And that's where you really have to make some money on those hit songs here. So that's what a royalty basically is in terms of the music space. Again, it can happen with writers, it can happen with actors, but today we're looking at just music royalties here. Now, earlier this month, the investing platform of Public, which I have heard, and it's actually kind of an interesting platform if you ever take a look at it, which we will look at later on. They're offering retail investors. So like myself, I'm a retail investor. I'm not someone that works at a hedge fund. I don't work for mutual funds. I don't work in corporate. I don't work in Wall Street. I'm a retail investor. I'm just, my own person who just invests my own money. And you actually have a chance now with Public to own a piece of the rights to the Shrek soundtrack for the same price as an expensive cup of coffee. Now, what does that mean? So Public purchased the 768 track catalog outright. So I did not know there was this many songs in the Shrek series, but I guess there's 768 tracks that they have in the Shrek soundtracks throughout all the movies, I'm guessing. They put it into an LLC, just into a business to have it under a name, and they had the LLC go public so investors could buy shares for as little as $10. So it's what is called fractionalized royalty investing. Now, it's just like when you can do fractionalized stock market investing. You can buy partial shares of companies like over here, like Apple. You can buy, $10 of Apple, $10 of Amazon, $20 of Sony. You can buy fractional shares of companies. You can buy fractionalized, royalty investing shares, if you want to call them as well, in this idea that Public is coming out with. Now, again, they're able to trade shares just like the stock market is here, but they basically are making money from the royalties. So the focus here is that you buy and hold for a long term. They don't want you being like, oh, I can flip it. I can flip a share of the Shrek soundtrack. You don't flip it. They're looking for the buying and holding long-term investors here. And that's what the idea is. And they want everyone to have access to this kind of asset class. Because again, right now, people getting paid for royalties are the ones who are the artists, are the ones who are the actors, the writers. The retailers have a chance to take part in that. So that's kind of what they're really looking at doing here. And again, royalty investing has been there before, but it's usually for wealthier institutional investors like hedge funds who can afford to shell out 6 figures to buy catalogs. So again, if a mutual fund or a hedge fund buys out a catalog of a song, so maybe they buy one of Drake's new albums, they get the royalties from every song that's played on their behalf. But we don't have that 6 figures, maybe even 7 figures to buy an album. So this is an idea as to allow us to buy fractional shares of it to make it a little bit easier for us to access here. So this article goes more into the ideas, talking about how it will be, beneficial for Spotify, for Apple Music. And to an extent, I think this is a really, really good idea about the Shrek royalties here. To an extent, again, it's not, there's pros, there's cons to it, and we'll dive into that a little bit more later on when I look at Public website here. Is there definitely room to make some money on here? Absolutely there is, but there's also, again, the risks of, what happens in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, those kind of things. So you can read more of this article if you'd like to. Again, it's like one of those passive incomes. These are some of the artists that I guess have sold some royalties over the years. So Justin Bieber sold an album earlier this year for $200 million. So they buy it, and now every song that's from his album is the royalties go to them. You've got Dr. Dre, Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Justin Timberlake. These are all people who have sold the rights to their songs, and they get all the money up front, and then the people who buy it are the ones who collect the money. So taking a look at, this is the public website here. Let me scroll up to the top so you see what it looks like. So this is public. It's a just like a Robinhood or a Webull or any other kind of stock brokerage, investment platform. It's really, really interesting in a way where it allows you, it's kind of like social media where you can see what people are investing in. You can post what you're investing in, those kind of things. Pros and cons to that. Webull, just the same thing, but people are toxic using a Webull. So, I don't know how toxic public is to the public, but you are able to basically, again, invest in the Shrek music franchise. So let's talk about what royalties are. Basically, it's like another way of dividends. And as you know me, I was an early investor in dividends for the longest time. Still like dividends, but not really my investment path right now. But you can still earn passive income, which I think is, is really awesome. They're talking about the global stream market to grow by 20%, which again is good. Again, the more people that stream it, the more money you make, which makes life, better for you. So here is the actual asset we're talking about. So it's 768 songs. Initial value is $889,000. And they have, against, I guess, essentially what's called a dividend yield equivalence to a royalty, which is 8.5% as of last year. So if you invest $10, 8% of that you get back from royalties and everything else. So that's where they're coming up with that passive income, basically as dividend and everything else. And you can see how their actual revenue has grown because I guess more people are watching Shrek over the years because it's a classic film series. There's more films, there's multiples, movies and everything else. So the revenue has gone up in that case. And again, when the revenue goes up, you're making more money and you're having more passive income as a result of that. So it talks about it, how the IPO works. So you can reserve your shares. Again, you can buy it for $10 for each share, whatever it is you want to do, earn passive income and everything else. So there was one point down here. I don't know if I could even find it here with how it actually works. Let me see here. But I don't think, explore asset. Here we go. This is what I wanted to look at. I want to show you kind of like the basics of it. But so this is it right here. So you can see the IPO. So it's coming soon. So this shows you how much money they made, over the quarters. So this one you're looking at, 4%, 6%, all the way up to about, they've made it on average about 8%, over the years here. So, and you can see here, which I think is really cool also, you can see the historical earnings here. So international is basically the one that's leading, which is, I never would have guessed. But international sources, whether it's people from overseas, different countries, different continents, whatever, has $32,000. Streaming audio is $800, which I'm not surprised because I don't know who's listening to the Shrek soundtrack while they're working out. Maybe they are, but not a lot of people are making it that way. Streaming video, though, is definitely a nice one because, again, you stream the movie, you could buy the movie, the soundtrack plays in the movie, so you get a fraction of that. TV and film, radio is a whopping 12 cents, which nobody, I guess, is listening to. And other, which they don't really classify, which is $12,000 here. So you can see how their earnings are. And this is my, this is all the, so this is what I say about public. Public has all like these comments, you can write things, everything else, cool opportunity, see how it goes, those kind of things. Couple of things that I think come to mind for me, and they kind of discuss it in public, but I still, I'm not quite sure. It's called Shrek Royalties. Love that. First thing is, say you buy these fractionalized shares for $10 each, right? Say in a year comes by and you want to sell it for $11 or $12, how that transaction is going to work is going to be really interesting. Because with like stocks, you have buy and sells and you have a bunch of, shares that are being sold every single day. Like Apple has millions upon millions sold every single day. So there's a lot of volume in it, right? I'm not quite sure how much volume they're going to have with this royalty trading they're going to be doing. And if you buy it for 10 and you think it's worth 12, but nobody wants to buy it at 12, like you can't sell it. And what happens if you buy it and you don't want it, but nobody wants to buy it from you? You might be stuck just holding the bag here and holding the shares and hoping for the best. So that's one thing that's got me a little bit nervous, and I'm kind of going to sit back and not, I always not invest in this. I'm someone that does like to invest in different, portfolios. Like I have a loaning. I do a bunch of loaning now, so I'm loaning money out to other people and get interest on that one through a Brum account or through a platform that's called Prosper. So I do that. I got stock markets, crypto, retirements, all these different things. I've got a bunch of different assets and allocations and everything like that. This would be one I would love to get into, and I just don't think Shrek is the good one for me right now. For example, if it was like a Drake album or, Post Malone album or anything else like that, like one of those popular artists, I think I would. Because even songs that are being played 10 years, after they came out from Drake, from Post Malone or whoever else, they're still being played and they're very well known in the public. And that's where you get that continued popularity of the listeners. So you need to have it become popular and keep growing, right? You need to have people continuing to listen to it over and over again. I don't quite know how many people are listening to Shrek. It's been out for about 20 years since the first movie. So the thing is, with the Shrek franchise, there has to be continued popularity as it gets older and older and older. And it's a great movie series. I just don't know if I see the supply for it. And I don't know if it's going to continue that popularity, because all it takes, is for people to find a whole new movie craze and Shrek just becomes forgotten and it dips, and then that's the end of that. So my two major red flags are being able to sell when I want to and get it filled, not just like, oh yeah, you could sell it, but is it actually someone going to actually buy it, or am I going to be stuck holding it? And also, what is the popularity going to look like for 10 years, 12 years down the road for Shrek? Is it going to be still popular? Is it going to be obsolete? I don't really quite know. But I do love that this is a very interesting way of investing money, and I'm curious to see how this goes. If you have your own thoughts on this kind of investment, please let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. If you do invest in Shrek, please let me know, because I would love to know how it does for you. But again, 8% return, $100 will give you $8 back every single year on average. Not a too bad of a return, but for me, I'm going to kind of sit this one back right now and kind of watch and see how it plays out. Hopefully more of this comes, where there could be, like I said, music albums, it could be movies, those kind of things. So I'm really hoping that this kind of is that introduction, that breaking through of the wall to have us be able to invest in royalties, because I would love to get into royalties at some point. But for now, this is the first one that I really know about. I'm going to sit back and let it play out. Let me know what your comments are down below. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you made it this far, please make sure to consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button down below. I'm going to hopefully have another video coming out soon, so make sure you turn on the bell notifications for that. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.